Oftentimes when you're working with libraries in Java, you're used to going out and downloading the libraries manually and then simply coming into IntelliJ and just adding adding an individual jar file, and you download it manually, you associate to your project manually, and it all works correctly. However, whenever we're working with some of the more advanced frameworks like Spring, there's actually enough complexity there that they need to use a dependency manager. And essentially what a dependency manager does is it just goes out, it downloads them all for you, it puts them in a special directory, and then it also incorporates them into your path so they can be used within your application. There's a couple of them out there. The mainstream one is called Maven. It simply goes out to a central Maven website where all of the repositories where all the jars are located. Downloads them, puts them into your application, and then you're ready to go. Now, looking at the Maven 5-minute guide to getting started, we can see that we have to make sure we have a specific folder structure in order for Maven to work. So we have to say source, main, Java, and then our package structure. So let's go ahead and modify this just a bit. And before you modify this, you actually may want to take a look at the sources that you have to find for your project. We're going to have to define new sources. So let's go ahead and remove these two folders as sources. We're going to make a couple new directories and move things around. So I believe we have a main. Inside of main, we have a Java. Excellent. Inside of Java, we actually have our package structure. Great, so let's go back in and we're just going to delete this. Now we can go back into our project structure and we can say, I want to make this Java folder a source code folder. Now IntelliJ will recognize that, hey, those are actually Java classes and Java packages inside that directory we just specified. And we're not doing any testing right now, so we'll just go ahead and delete these. The last thing we have to do is we have to create this thing called a pom.xml. Pom.xml is essentially the configuration required for running your dependency manager. And the fastest and easiest way to get going with Maven is just to find an existing pom.xml and copy it into your application and simply just modify your group ID to be the group ID that the package structure name that you currently are using. And you can give it a name if you would like. Version is really not important. Packaging really isn't very important as well. So now we can tell it what dependencies we need it to go out and download. So if we go to the Spring Framework website, you'll notice that we can't physically download these dependencies. It's highly recommending us that we just include the Maven XML to download these dependencies. So let's go ahead and add those in. Great. Now we have the sidebar. In IntelliJ, we can actually add our pom.xml into the project that we are working on. So copy path. Right there, pick out the combo XML. Now it's going to tell us there are a couple Maven projects that need to be imported. We'll go ahead and say, yes, you may import those. Now down here, what's happening is it's downloading. I'm not sure what those are, but it's downloading jar files onto a specific directory on our computer. Most likely it's the .m2 directory located in our home folder. Once it finishes downloading all the Spring framework jars, it's going to automatically include them into our class path.